How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be taking a look at 20 Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Easter eggs that you may not have seen. So let's get started. Starting things off is the Junichi Masuda Easter egg. So if you become the champion at Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you can head to the game director's home at the Hotel Grand Lake. Now if you go here into one of the houses, you will find three different people. One guy is the sound designer, one is the game designer, and one is the game director. The game director looks just like the real life person of Junichi Masuda, game director of bdsp, but also one of the head people over at the Pokemon Company. So it's a nice little Easter egg, and if you do complete the national dex, he will give you a shiny charm. And if you talk to the game designer, he will hand you a catching charm after completing the Sinnoh dex. And the sound designer will give you the DS Sounds key item, an item that's similar to the GB Sounds item, where it lets you play old DS music instead of the brand new one. Speaking of Masuda, the second Easter egg is over in Snowpoint City. If you head over to Snowpoint during Masuda's birthday, which is on January the 12th, he was born in 1968. Actually, he's the same age as my dad, which is really random. But nonetheless, so if you go there on his birthday, January the 12th, as well as a few other related dates, you have a chance to see shiny snow. Yes, shiny glowing snow starts falling down from the sky, and you can see what that looks like. It's a pretty awesome little Easter egg, and it was also there in the original games, so if you didn't know that, it's a pretty nice little fact. Next is some change text in the Canalave library in reference to Pokemon Legends Arceus, and also there is a painting possibly hinting at Generation 9 inside of the Canalave library. It looks like a Van Gogh painting of Venice, if I've gotten this right, which could be a hint to either something like an Italian region next, or potentially something else. Somebody actually said it kind of looks like Sydney in a weird way, but it is what it is. Now the book is titled The Sea's Legend, and it's a brand new one, and here's what it says.
It was recently discovered, says the following. Once upon a time in the East Sea, there was a Pokemon known as the Prince. A brave human asked Pokemon living in the sea to let them see the Prince. Mantike, Weasel, and a Quillfish with huge spikes acknowledged the human's bravery and joined them. Together they set off in a boat over the sunset-streaked sea, sailing through the ocean gates stretched over the waves. News of this reached the ears of the Prince, who went to meet the brave little party at the seaside hollow.
Now the question, of course, is what is this all like, hinting to? Well, we'll have to wait and see once we play Pokemon Legends Arceus. So it's pretty cool little Easter egg though. Next is the odd keystone for Spiritomb and Spiritomb in general. So Spiritomb is interesting here. Now to get the odd keystone, you have three different methods, and I made a video separately on this if you want to check out the exact guide. But one of the odd keystones is actually an Easter egg that hints back at references the old games, which is an Easter egg where you basically go back to, well, Twin Leaf Town, more or less. You go there and you actually surf in that little patch of water at the bottom, and on the left side there is a odd keystone. Super random, but that's one of the ways to get yourself an odd keystone if you want to. But also to get Spiritomb, you need to essentially take the odd keystone to Route 209, put it in the big chunky boy, and then you have to go and talk to 32 individual NPCs in the underground. I've got a full guide on this on the channel if you want to see exactly what it is, but it's a nice little Easter egg. Next is the Cartridge legendary slates that are based on the original Game Boy cartridges. So to get legendaries in the Romanus Park, you need to get yourself these legendary slates, and there are different ones like the Discovery Slate, the Johto Slate, even the Soul Slate. There's loads of them. The Genome Slate as well, right? You got loads of them, but here is the interesting fact actually. If you look at these, you will notice something very strange about them. They are actually shaped and based on the original Game Boy cartridges, and when you put them inside of the slots where they're supposed to go to actually summon the legendaries, it actually looks just like you're slotting it into, guess what? An old Game Boy. It is such a cool little feature. It's so awesome, and a nice little callback to the original games. Diglett side quest. Now, this is something you do in the underground, and it's actually kind of necessary to get yourself certain things, but there's an underground, basically side quest you can do with Diglett, where you run around and find up to 40 Digletts, and if you do this for 4 next minutes, you have an increased chance, yes, an increased chance of finding shiny statues inside of the walls. So this is a really recommended method, I would say, if you want to just get shiny statues, but it's going to take you a while to get all the Digletts. Also, this is similar to the quest we had in Pokemon Isle of Armor, where you could also go and find Alolan Digletts to then be rewarded with, guess what, a choice of I guess, Alolan starters. So, what do you guys think about that? Next is the Darkrai event. Now, to get Darkrai, you can't really do it at the moment of me recording this video, but there will be an event eventually to give us the item that we need to enter the building in Canalave. Now, once you enter that building with the member card, I'm pretty sure, you go inside and you can interact with the character there. You will go to sleep, and then you'll wake up on New Moon Island. When you wake up there, you can go and battle Darkrai and catch it. Now, at the moment, this isn't really possible, and there are a few prompts needed for this to happen. For example, you need to actually complete the game, more or less, is one of the things. You need to have the national dex and whatnot for this to actually work, but you also need the item. That's not the only one. There is also an event for Shaymin, which is actually pretty straightforward. Well, what you need, first of all, is Oak's Letter. Now, to get Oak's Letter, you kind of will not be able to do it without an event in the game, which Nintendo, hopefully, and Game Freak will be having in the future. But once you have Oak's Letter, you gotta head over to the Secret Path. If you go there, you can actually meet Oak, and then head up the route and find yourself a Shaymin. So the event is currently not totally workable in the game, but it's a nice little Easter egg that's in the game, and also hints back at the original event from the original games. Next is a little fact and Easter egg they may not know, which is that shiny hunting increases in rating, or odds rather, when you get yourself a shiny statue and put it inside of your secret base in the underground. So yes, if you get a shiny statue, as mentioned earlier, by doing the Diglett side quest, you can put it inside of your secret base, and once you do this, you actually get an increased chance from 1 in 4,096 to 2 in 4,096 odds to find a shiny in the Grand Underground. So I highly recommend getting one of those if you plan to be in the Grand Underground a lot and hunting for shinies down there. So the original trade of Medicham for Haunter is still in the game. Yes, Mindy, or whatever her name is still in the game, and you can interact with her, and she will once again scam you for a freaking Haunter. Yeah, she puts, well, you know, she makes it impossible for the Haunter to evolve. If you guys remember this trade, you know how ridiculous it is. But Mindy's still there, and she will still screw you over with the Haunter, so keep that in mind. But yeah, nice little Easter egg and callback in reference to the old games. You guys can catch Rotom in the old chateau. I have a video guide on this as well, but if you want to get Rotom, you have to have completed the game, and you also need to have the national dex. Once you have that, you need to be there at night, go to the old chateau, and you can go to the room on the top floor, first room to the left, and you can catch yourself Rotom inside of the TV. Speaking of the old chateau, there actually seems to be loads of Easter eggs and secrets in this building, and there is some different ones. For example, now there's a really creepy voice that goes around in the house when you're walking in it, as well as the scary painting. Now, the scary painting was there in the original game as well, but now when you look away from it, it actually does like a weird sound. It's really creepy, to be honest with you guys, but yeah, that's in the game now. It's kind of strange, but I want to know your thoughts on it. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best and coolest things in this game, which is the Shadow Giratina. Now, what are we talking about here? Well, basically, back in the original, like, I guess, Platinum games and whatnot, basically, Giratina would appear with this, like, really strange thing going on. It would come out of the ground, sort of, like this, like, dark shade. And now they're referencing that by having Giratina in its, basically, shadow form or umbra form, whatever you want to call it. And to get this version, you can't actually catch it. It's a level 100 Giratina. The only thing you can do with it is defeat it and get the Regigigas Orb. Now, for this Giratina to actually spawn, you need to do quite a few different things. First of all, you need to go to the Turnback Cave and catch Giratina there. Once you've done this, in the Ramanas Park, a new entrance will open up. In this entrance, if you go inside of it, and you have the, well, I guess the distortion plate from the legendary plates, if you have that one, you can then put it into the slot and encounter the Shadow Giratina, which is level 100 and is a reference back to the kind of shadow form of Giratina from the original games and whatnot. So, what do you guys think about that? Let me know. You guys can catch Regigigas in this game. Yes, I made a video about this as well. If you guys want to get Regigigas, you simply have to catch all the Regis by using the discovery plates in Ramanas Park, which are also the first legendaries you will have to catch. Once you've done this, you put them in your party and go over to the Regi Temple, or rather the Snowpoint Temple. But you go over there, you go to the bottom floor, and you will find a Regigigas down there. So definitely go catch yourself a Regigigas. Why not? So, a nice little Easter egg. If you guys check the weight of your Pokemon in these games, they will actually play a crazy little animation. If a Pokemon weighs super a lot, your character will be swung up into the sky, hitting literally into the moon, which is incredible. It's just a cute little animation that I thought I would mention. Next, you guys can catch all the starter Pokemon from Kanto, Hoenn, and Johto in the Grand Underground in the post-game after you receive the National Dex. So once you have the National Dex, you guys can go and basically get yourself every single starter, all the way from Gen 1 to Gen 4. Even Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup are down there, so go get yourself all the starters. It's a nice little thing that you can do while waiting for, you know, trading to be a possibility for you. On Fridays, you guys can go to Floroma Town, and if you go there, you can actually find a Drifloon. Yes, it's next to the Windworks. If you go there specifically on Fridays, you can find it around the nighttime, and if you want to do this, you can simply change the date on your Switch and it will show up. So if you really need a Drifloon, you can get it this way, but yeah, it's a nice little secret. So if you go to Canalave City and go to the exit route, you will find a officer, and if you talk to him, he talks about being thirsty. Now this is actually a reference back to Diamond and Pearl, where he said the same thing, but also that original reference is a reference back to the original games of Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, and the old games, where you would talk to a guard next to Saffron, and he would tell you that he's thirsty and he wanted you to bring him some tea, I guess. But yeah, kind of a strange little Easter egg that's back once again. Next, did you guys know if you go back to your home in the game, you can actually sleep in your bed? Now, this is apparently the only bed you can sleep in besides the Darkrai event bed, but yeah, you can go there and you can sleep in your own bed, which is super random, but yeah, it's actually doable though. So if you want to get yourself into your bed, go right ahead. And the final Easter egg on this list is Cresselia. Yes, you can catch Cresselia. Now, this is pretty much doable around the post-game, and once you do this, all you have to do is go to Canalave City, go down to where the guy with the boat is, and enter the building there. Talk to the lady who has her son on the bed, talk to her, talk to the child, exit the building, and talk to the sailor. The sailor will tell you, hey, my child is sick, I might need the lunar wing. Do you want to go to the island and help me out? So you say yes. He takes you to Full Moon. You can find Cresselia. You talk to Cresselia. It will leave behind the lunar wing. You go talk to the sailor. He basically sends you back to Canalave, and now you can hunt for, well, Cresselia in the world. It's one of the roaming legendaries, so it'll be roaming around the region. You'll have to run around to try to find it. Kind of annoying, but it's doable, especially if you use the 205 and Windworks method, where you go between those two routes until it shows up in route 205. So that's the last one for this video, and I might do a follow-up with some Easter eggs and secrets that I may have missed as well. So if there are any I missed, you can let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. My name is Rodolfo Rowlett. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye.